Let's get her.
When I first met Mr. Spitz, I couldn't stop laughing because he was just so enthusiastic about math and life and everything. And I'd never seen anybody like that about any subject.
So what did you first think of Mr. Spitz?
He's no jack girl.
What was your first opinion of Mr. Spitz?
My first opinion was, wow, this guy has a lot of energy. Probably more than he should. But it was cool because he's nice, so I like him.
Do you remember your first meeting with Mr. Spitz and your first impression of him?
I've known Mr. Spitz for 20 years. My first impression of him was he was kind of like crazy because he had a ponytail and he was a math teacher, so those combinations make people, you know, you go, wow, this guy's crazy. And, you know, I found out, I talked to him, and he's not only crazy, but he's like the greatest guy, so he's a very good friend of mine. I've known him for 20 years. He's given me a lot of good advice and a lot of bad advice, so that makes him a friend.
Because I'm ready. We are so ready. Ready.
Yeah.
Ellie.
That's a flag.
A flag, out of seat, improper seating, 10-yard penalty. Oh, no. Back to your seat.
I need to go. I'm going to go.
Thanks for disrupting. Vincent, get your notebook out.
I didn't bring my notebook.
I am.
20-point notebook check. Vince, that's a 0. So, you're smart. You're going to do your homework. By the way, because he didn't bring his notebook, this is taxpayer money going down the drain.
Where did you go to college?
Well, I started going to college at the University of New Hampshire, and then I switched and finished up at Rutgers University in Camden. Why did I want to become a teacher? Okay, well, I always wanted to get into something so that I could help other people. And being a teacher was something that I felt was a good avenue. I worked at a daycare center prior to me becoming a teacher, so it was something that I guess was kind of in my blood. I also always enjoyed mathematics, and so since I was pretty good at it, that's the field I decided to go, and I'm glad I took that choice. I'm glad I made that choice.
So, Mr. Spitz, we like to go to concerts, and Mr. Spitz loves music. So Pearl Jam is one of his favorite groups. So we go to the concerts, and have you ever heard anybody like, you know, that person in that row that makes like screaming and yelling, and you know they're insanely having fun? We're talking about Mr. Spitz, all right, to the point of like he's like amazingly enthusiastic, and that carries over into his teaching. Everything that he does in school, he's the type of person that, you know, you just really love to be around, and he's so much fun. So I'm looking forward to the future, many more concerts and many good times. You know, go get him, Bob.
Every teacher has a different teaching style, and the teaching style is related to the teacher's personality and also to the teacher's life experiences. And so for me, when I was in high school, I had a teacher, a German teacher that I liked a whole lot. And he was always very funny, making jokes, and he made the class enjoyable. And that is something that really stuck with me. And that's something that I try to emulate when I teach.
Mr. Spitz's teaching style, I'll tell you what, the first thing to be a good teacher is you have to love your subject, and Mr. Spitz loves the subject of math. And the second you have to do is communicate that love to the students, and Mr. Spitz does that very well. Every day he comes in and you could tell he loves math. He loves the logic of it. He loves the beauty of it. You know, just like poetry. I mean, he's trying to communicate to the students all the time that feeling that, you know, math is something special. So he does that in many ways. He knows the subject matter very, very well, but he also knows his students and what they need to be successful. So he's the type of person that he knows you. You know, he's gonna make you a better person, and if you listen to him, you know, he's gonna teach you not only math, but he's gonna teach you about life. He's gonna teach you about so many different things. He's the man.
It might be the end of the year, folks. It might be the end of the year, and some of you are willing to throw in the towel, but I'm not. I'm going to take every step and march forward into that beautiful realm of mathematics known as the calculus. Thank you. And I invite you to join along. So let's follow me down, folks. Okay, when I prepare students for an AP test, what I am trying to do is try to make sure that students, number one, have a basic understanding of calculus, the calculus. And number two, I want to do it in such a way that students are able to be best prepared for the AP test. So the way I do that is we do go at a pretty good pace. The reason why we're going at a quick pace is we try to make it a pace that's good enough for all the students to understand, yet will leave us time to review for the different types of AP questions that students could see on the calculus, either A, B, or BC. This is a strategy I use. And so luckily the students, and I usually make sure that they understand, we go at a fairly good pace, but I think it's a pace that's just right because the students' grades during their tests and quizzes usually are pretty nice, pretty good grades. So that tells me that I'm not going too fast. And then we have time to review. And I think the best way to review is to just keep practicing different types of previously released AP questions. So the students will have some general idea of what to expect. I like giving them the previously released tests so they can actually try them, so they know what the heck's going to confront them when they go in that day.
I'm not really nervous for the AP test. I think Mr. Spitz prepared us pretty well. We have a lot of prep work and stuff, so I think we're probably better off than a lot of other people are.
You got a minute?
Yeah, sure. What's up?
How do you think you did on the AP exam?
I mean, I thought I did pretty good. I answered every question to the best of my ability, and I think I was well prepared for it. Mr. Spitz helped me a lot when I was studying for it, and I think he did a great job preparing.
I was at the beginning of the year because there wasn't as much homework as there had been in pre-cal, but as the course of the year went on, we got review packets and review booklets, and I really feel like he even over-prepared us so that when we took the test, it wouldn't seem like we knew everything. It would seem like we knew everything about calculus.
When I started out this year, I didn't think I'd be able to go through with it. I felt the abilities to lead and guide you along the straight and narrow path of the calculus. But then I was inspired by each and every one of you, with the exception of to go forward. So, folks, we had a good year, and I enjoyed every minute of it. And I hope you did too, and I hope you guys learned stuff.
Originally, when I met Mr. Spitz, I thought he was kind of like crazy and out there. He kind of reminded me of Kramer from Seinfeld. And then, like, the more he spoke, the more I realized how intelligent and like his love for math. So my respect for him like has grown infinitely, and I think he's a wonderful person.
I love Mr. Spitz as a teacher. He is one of the best teachers at Lenape. Like, he can take a subject as boring as calculus and make it fun and make you want to go to that class every day. And he's very youthful. He's an old man, but he's not that old. But he's considerably older. But he still acts like he's like 20. You know, he's a 20-year-old teacher just like trying to inflame a love of math into his students. Especially like when it's like 11:10 or 10:11 and like everyone's asleep. Mr. Spitz is just like, what are you doing? And then if you ask Mr. Spitz a question, he'll like take time after class to answer your question. And he knows a lot about math. And sometimes he goes on philosophy rants. Like, he just talks about philosophy randomly to teach us something because he likes to teach his students. And then he sings like The Doors. He sings like classical rock music, not classical rock, because he just is that awesome of a teacher. And like, he does crazy things. He's a crazy man, but in the best way possible. Like, one time his eraser broke, and then he like spent 5 minutes of his class time angrily gluing it back together. Who does that? Mr. Spitz does, and it's hilarious. And he's just the best man ever. And then one time we were looking for variables because we ran out of variables. So it was like h of x, f of x, and then we were gonna do g of x, but then he's like, no, I'm not gonna do g of x. So then he like drew a face and made it face of X. Like, who does? Mr. Spitz, I love him so much.
So this is going to be plus C. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to finish this section with the following. Ladies and gentlemen, the end. Oh my God. That's correct.
We made it!
Oh yeah.
But you still have homework. What will be so limitless and free, desperately in need of some strangers hand in our